suffering, when it really hits, the people you think should be there. Come on. They are nowhere to be found. The people you thought you can call, and sometimes they are on your contact list. But the Lord just doesn't allow you the freedom to reach out. Because it is necessary for your process. And when we understand this, it starts to recalibrate our attitude towards people. Because here's a pertinent question that you will face as you go through your season of suffering. Where are the people that you've done well to? No, they are there. They are still there. They are still there. But you still have a process that you need to go through. And if we don't understand that, we become angry with the people we helped who are not available when we go through our suffering. Just say to the person next, your package is your package. There are essentially 2 or 3 responses to suffering as it relates to help. The people who can help you ultimately are people who are convicted by the Lord, whose hands are moved by God. Okay? And those are the people in your suffering you ought to pray for. And there is no guarantee that those people are coming from your past. There may be people you've never met in your life before. Number 2, did you know in our show of sympathy to one another as humans, when one suffers, we so desperately want to help. And as much as we want to help, every time we think we want to help, resources get constrained in that direction. So what I'm saying to you, people cannot help you. Only God can help you. Until God touches a heart and moves a hand, man cannot help you. David understood this so clearly. He says, I look up to the mountains, but I'm clear about where my help comes from. My help doesn't come from what I see. My help comes from the Lord. And if as a leader you maintain that attitude as you go through the corporate fire in your workplace, if you maintain that attitude as you go through your family fire, fire in your marriage, fire in the ministry, it will help you a whole lot. It will strengthen your dependence upon God and not man. And you'll be able to suffer in a dignified manner and still love everybody around you. You'll be able to suffer in a dignified manner and not be angry with people who cannot help you, because you understand, unless they are a tool in the hand of God, as much as they want to, they cannot help you. You can suffer and sit here between 2 billionaires, and your suffering is financial, and these men want to help you. They just can't help you. Your process must run its full course. Your process must run its full course. Now say to the person next to you, stop being offended at the people that seem not to want to help you. They are not God. The last time I checked, the only person who's got all power universally is one. He's Jehovah. Only He is omnipotent. So I want you to drop the notion of I've got a great network. And so when I suffer, this is my escape. The Lord shuts networks when your process kicks in. And maturity is the ability to embrace what the Lord is walking you through and to love. Not pretend, love. Love everybody around you. You know what's very intense about suffering is when you've applied everything you know about prayer, when you've confessed every word, when you've knocked on every door, when you've asked all manner of requests, and there's no yes, there's no no. I want to move away from this point. All I'm saying to you, in the process of mining, rocks are exploded. In the making of you as a leader, you will find some explosions. Maintain the right attitude. Whether it's in the workplace or wherever you are influencing, maintain the right attitude as you are being exploded. I love my wife. She's cueing me. She's bringing me right back to the Thank you, man. Mining. Say mining. Mining. We're having a conversation. Because there are things that troubles your heart about people who have not returned the favor. There are things that troubles your mind, and you are not always bold enough to say it, but it bothers you. And when the Lord touches your heart to pray for the people that you are bothered about, it's a struggle to pray because you're actually angry that they are not helping you. Let that debris be removed. Let those rocks be exploded. Walk the process, leader. Walk the process.
Amen.
Then once they've sunk the mine, they take whatever product they get into a processing. A lot of mines deal with it metallurgically. So they take the smaller rock particles and they put it through different phases of processing, and I'm going to try and just sweep through that. One, they've got big drums that they call silos, or rather crushers, actually. And they crush the rocks into smaller particles so that they're able to process them. Then they take that on different conveyor belts into screens. Now the screens are just plastic blocks of different sizes. So that as this concentrate gets onto the screens, it falls through in different sizes. That's what it does. But it's part of the processing. So I want to park at that to say to you, like the crushing process, so also is there a crushing process, not explosions, we are done with the explosions. So is there a crushing process in every leader's life? And you've got to be mindful of this because it doesn't happen once. At this level, the crushing is different than at a different level of your maturity. Your crushing when you were a leader at infancy stage is different when you are a mature leader. And so is the intensity. Because you've now been capacitated to handle more. So it is important, leaders, that you remind yourself that as you go through seasons of life, that's why they are called seasons. On this season there might be a crushing. And I'm going to do something quickly. My brother stood next to me, and my son and my daughter, possibly, give or take, 7 years ago. And while we were together, we were burying Timothy, who was stillborn. My wife was in hospital because she was still recovering. 7 years ago, I was serving the Lord the way I serve Him today. 7 years ago, I was loving the Father the way I love him today. 7 years ago, I was convicted about his lordship over my life as I am today. But I had an experience. And do you know how it happened? It didn't just happen overnight. We prayed. We prayed. We believed in the authority we carry. We prayed. We spoke the word. We made declarations. We reversed any curse. We reversed death. And we lost Timothy. Sometimes the outcome is not necessarily what you deserve. And that's when you realize that there are many, many plans in the heart of man. But it is the purpose of God that prevails, not your plan. The purpose of God ultimately prevails. But what was this? This was a sizing process. Because we discovered with Timothy, baby number 4, that from baby number 1, Emicia, who came before Daniel, the chances that my wife could carry a baby in the womb was 0. We didn't know about it. We didn't know about it. We had the miscarriage with Emicia, and then Daniel came. Here he is. And then Miriam came. Here she is. And it took Timothy, who was stillborn, for us to realize, wow, there was a deformation in the womb. It was practically impossible for her to bear a child. What we've experienced with our 2 children who are on the planet are sheer miracles. Now, sometimes you can make the mistake of thinking, well, Daniel is my boy. This man got seed, brother. You can take it on you. Sometimes you can make the mistake of, you see Miriam? She looks just like, that's my girl. When you look at Miriam, that's who you see. The flesh can glorify itself in God's process. And sometimes it takes trimming, sizing, to get you to realize, oh, this is not really about you.